Hello there, and welcome to A Cup of Tea with an Englishman in San Diego with myself, Leonard Sultana. It's a pleasure to have you join us today. It's the 29th of June, 2014. It's 24 days to San Diego Comic-Con, and we are getting ourselves ready in a big way with only 4 weeks to go, 3 weeks to go. It's getting very close now, and we have ourselves some fantastic guests who have joined us today for our hangout talking about San Diego Comic-Con. As always, we would love you to take part in the conversation, and the way you can do that is by going to the Google Plus event page, clicking on the Q&A button at the top of the page, and finding out exactly what you want to talk about by adding a question in on the Hangout. It's great that we've got a number of viewers already asking questions, already putting in some posts. Please do contribute throughout the course of the Hangout, because of course it's all about you and all about your questions, so please do take part. We have ourselves also this channel, which we will be asking you, if you couldn't, or if you wouldn't mind, subscribing to. So at least then we can keep you up to date with all the guests that will be happening over the course of the next few weeks, because we do have some fantastic guests that are going to be taking part in the forthcoming weeks. So let's find out exactly who we have on our Hangout today. We have ourselves, first and foremost, we have ourselves Alyssa. Now, I have actually asked people to unmute their microphone, so hopefully, Alyssa, can you just unmute yourself? Because at the beginning of the conversation, there we go. Yeah, that was entirely me.
Wonderful. Hello, Leonard.
Hello there, Alyssa. How are you? Listen, by the time that Comic-Con actually rolls around, all of this will be seamless. Or it will actually all be seamless sometime around 3 weeks after Comic-Con. It'll be one of the two. I can't guarantee which it's going to be, but yeah, it's going to be one of the two. Right, Alyssa, so obviously, Friends of CCI Forum, I'm certain everything's buzzing at the moment over there. What is being talked about, first and foremost, on CCI?
Big doings about the New York ticket sales. What went down, and the fact that they're close to being sold out. I think they've just got Thursday, Friday, and Sunday tickets left, single days. That created a hubbub on there. We've got the exclusives, panel rumors. A lot of people are reporting stuff about. Well, I heard there wasn't going to be a XYZ panel. So there's a lot of rumors floating around, and a lot of confirmed people too. We're trying to keep up with it, just like everybody else is.
Sure. I mean, there's been a lot of news this week, and we are going to cover all of that absolutely. So we'll get into that, and also the responses that everyone's talked about today very soon indeed. Let's go down the line. We have ourselves Christopher Sully from the NerdFu. How are you, sir?
Doing great. How's everybody doing today?
I'm fine. How is everyone?
Yay,
Speak up, everyone. Yay.
Too early.
I'm just going to say, it is a round table. Just say hello to everyone. Right. Yeah, I mean, what's being talked about on NerdFu at the moment?
Oh, a lot of excitement surrounding the exclusives coming out. Of course, we're following all the great pop news, stuff coming out of Titan, Hasbro, Mattel, all the good excitement there.
Excellent, and we are going to talk about exclusives very soon indeed. Next on our little lineup here, joining us kind of last minute, because we weren't too sure how many guests we were going to be able to fit in. But yes, hello there. We have the Nerd Link. Nice to have you join us today. You haven't got your name bar up, so
I think it's going on. It should be up. I'm clicking it. I think it should be on now.
There you go. Thank you. There you see, it's all coming together slowly but surely. Yeah. Right. John, how are you doing, sir? How's the last week been for you, sir?
It's been interesting, especially in the vinyl toy world, with a couple of the rumors. I'm not sure if we're going to get into a little more with exclusives later, but things are going good. It's just getting down to the wire now.
Yeah. It's all been not so much about off-site events, and one or two people have been commenting about that on on social media that the off-site events, while they're starting to roll out, it's all been about exclusives. Certainly over the last 2 weeks, it's daily. It's really quite insane. So I'm trying to also invite a very last-minute guest, so bear with me a second. But John, thank you very much indeed for joining us, sir. We have joining us all the way across the other side of the planet. We have Tina from Red Hot. Hello there, Tina. How are you?
Good. I'm fine.
What has been talked about on Red Hot? You're still awake, absolutely, because you're in Singapore. You really do put the international in Comic-Con International. So it's great to have you join us. Thank you very much indeed. We have from the Nerd Element, we have Kimberly Walton. Hello, Kimberly.
Hi, everyone.
Now, Kimberly just talks and talks and talks on numerous podcasts, and there's been about 3 or 4 this week. What have you been talking about this week? Because there's been a number of season finales, hasn't there?
Yeah, we did. We had some season finales, and we had some seasons start up again with like Teen Wolf and True Blood. So we got that coming out. But I don't know. We've got some articles and exclusives going out. I've been sending tweets to Chris and John. I think Funko has got me. I've avoided it for a while, and I think I need to get another job. I really do.
Yeah. When they turned around and started posting on Monday and Wednesday the Pop Funko exclusives, I think the general response has been, can you stop actually posting about these? We can't afford them, for God's sake. There's I am going to talk about those because, well, there's a couple that I like the look of, and yes. Very much interested in a couple of those. Right, and last but not least, I know we've kind of really gone on with the intros, but let's do our last but not least one. We have ourselves our very special guest today, somebody who isn't usually awake this early on a Sunday morning.
Never.
Now, we talked earlier on in the week just to have a kind of a chat. This is Jennifer. How do I pronounce your surname?
Muzquiz.
Muzquiz, you see?
Muzquiz.
I don't know if it was going to be Muzquiz or I wasn't too sure. Now you see, with a name like Leonard Sultana, I don't talk about names because the general rule is he who throws the first stone usually gets his greenhouse bricked in. So I usually don't throw any comments about surnames. So I wasn't too sure how to pronounce it. So excellent, thank you very much indeed. Right. Yes. Now you are behind. Now, are you behind ZombieWalk San Diego? Are you the main person behind it?
I don't know if you want to call it behind. I'm more in front of it than anything, because it's become this monster that just goes, and I got to get out of its way at this point. But yeah, I'm the jerk that floods the gas lamp with zombies on Saturday evenings. So if you want to refer to it that way, sure. Yeah, that's me.
Well, okay then, because obviously zombies and vampires, they are the monsters du jour, as it were. Tell us all about ZombieWalk San Diego. I know.
Sure.
I mean, do you want to start all the way at the beginning? When did it start and how did it start?
This will be our 8th year.
Wow.
I'll give you the not true story of how it started, because the true story is a little bittersweet. Whatever. I basically started it when I first moved to San Diego with my now estranged husband. It was kind of my love letter to him, because one of the things we bonded over was zombies and all things horror. And I had run zombie walks in other cities and been to zombie walks in other cities, and he'd never been to one. So I said, well, San Diego doesn't have a dedicated group, so why don't we start one? And I got on Craigslist, put up an ad, figured maybe a dozen people. I started a MySpace page, 8 years ago, MySpace. And I figured maybe a dozen. 15, yeah, MySpace, that one thing back then. Yeah. I figured maybe 15, 20 people at the most. We ended up having 120 people show up at Balboa Park. I was not prepared for that. We had all these news crews. I was just like, whoa, wait, where did this come from? And this was a month before Comic-Con 8 years ago. And everybody said, hey, this was really awesome. We should do this at Comic-Con. And I thought, why don't we? So it started there. We got on the front page of the San Diego Tribune, you know, Friday of Comic-Con. We decided, well, George Romero's going to be there, and Max Brooks was moderating a panel that year, and we were just like, this is perfect. It's Return of the Zombies. We're cool. So it just became a thing, and everybody's like, so are we doing this next year? Sure, why not? The next year happened, and then the next year, and the next year, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And here we are, year 8, nearly a decade later, and I'm still doing this, and I have no idea why.
Really? You have no idea. You have no idea why. I'm sorry, but you are one of the. Like I say, okay. 2010 was my first Comic-Con, and one of the first 5 people that, because I joined Twitter in 2011 purely to follow Jon Favreau to find out about tickets about the Cowboys and Aliens premiere. And up to that point, I turned around and said, I'm never going to do Twitter. I'm not going to be a twat. I'm not going to tweet. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. At which point, the first 5 people that I think I followed and then followed me back were a couple of people surrounding Comic-Con, people I followed, and then yourself. So, I mean, I've been aware of you for some time. Not only that, but not only that, but you are kind of a celebrity, as it were, because you do. Yes, you are. I mean, you featured on, well, San Diego, the ZombieWalk. It featured in the documentary, A Fan's Hope. I mean, there were zombies stumbling down the street and disturbing the passers-by. I mean,
I would call it disturbing, enhancing their experience.
Okay. Jumping behind them and scaring the living crap out of them. How's that? Yeah.
I don't encourage that. I like people to have fun. I don't want people to get this crap scared out of them. That's what going to haunted hotel is for. You want the crap scared out of you, go pay $18. You want to have a little bit of zombie fun, come hang out with us for free. You know?
Because it is a free. I know it's a free event.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what is there? Is there any funds that go to charity? How does ZombieWalk work?
ZombieWalk works.
Of course it works.
That's the first time anyone's ever said anything remotely close to that. So, basically, ZombieWalk is, this is when we're showing up. This is where to show up. Show up. Be a zombie. Follow our guidelines to be safe. To be, courteous, to not get run over by a car, and you're gonna have fun. So that's how it works. It's so simple, and that's how we keep it free every year. Is that it's so many people are well behaved because they want to do this and they want to keep it going. So I'd like to think that everybody follows the guidelines because they understand that. And the guidelines are so simple. It's, stay on the sidewalks until we can go in the street, if we can go in the street, because that's never a guarantee, but it does seem to happen every year and more, and that keeps scaring me, the more freedom SDPD, I love our local police department in San Diego, oh my goodness, but the more freedom they give us every year, it's just like, oh my gosh, why are you doing this? You're letting people in the street and you're not. It's just crazy to me. As far as charity goes, that's usually our party aspect of it, is a portion of whatever proceeds. Usually we have sponsors, and I'll get to that in a second. Usually we have sponsors, and a portion of that gets donated to charity. Every year is a different charity. We've done everything from, San Diego Food Bank. We've done food drives. We've collected blankets and socks for the local homeless population in San Diego. We've done, all kinds of stuff. Donate Life, because I'm a big believer in the organ donor registry. You're not going to use it. I always say that you're not going to use it after you're dead, so why not keep on living as a zombie and someone else? You know, that's my angle. One of my parents actually passed away several years ago waiting for a liver. So that's a big deal to me. That's one of the charities that we like to work with. This year, I'm donating the proceeds from all our T-shirt and poster sales to the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network and the Autism Women's Network. One of the things that a lot of people aren't aware of is I'm actually autistic. Not Asperger's, classically autistic. You're getting me on a verbal day, so I can't speak.
Okay, no, go for it.
I have actually been in my pillow fort all week so that I could be calm enough and good to be able to talk today. I wish I was kidding. I have actually legit been in my pillow fort. I do have a pillow fort at 33 years old, chilling out for the week. So that's how ZombieWalk gets organized.
I'm certain that you're not the only one.
Yeah.
And
I got one.
My son. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. I'm glad other people are coming out as pillow fort owners because everyone really should have one. Mine is currently filled with a cat, so he kicked me out. As soon as I got up to, look somewhat presentable this morning, he's like, cool.
Tina did turn around and say if there's any chance that we could get a gate crash from the cats, that'd be fantastic.
I'm letting them sleep.
Well, yes, I know that someone asked if there was going to be a gate crash from my little bundle of joy and fur, but he's currently, thankfully, on the other side of the room asleep, and until he turns around and says, "Excuse me, I want to get fed," I'll leave that to it. Okay, let's go back to ZombieWalk. I mean, how many people? You say that first year. I mean, how many people do you say show up again that first year?
In Balboa Park for our first walk pre-Comic-Con, it was about 120 was the police estimate.
Right.
At Comic-Con.
How many? Oh, at Comic-Con then.
It was over 1,500.
Whoa.
Right. And in 2014.
I don't know.
So
the largest number we've had is nearly 4,000.
It is just, this is the thing that I love about San Diego, number one about Comic-Con and also about ZombieWalk as well. It really is everyone just coming together and just celebrating. Celebrating zombies? Yeah, celebrating zombies and being a zombie and just really having a hell of a time with it. And yeah, because
it's the easiest cosplay to do. People want to get in a character, and you can do zombie makeup in 5 minutes if you really want to rush it, and just join a big horde of people dressed like you and kind of escape. So.
Well, I actually dressed up as a zombie for Halloween, and this is how I dress. And yes, I am a zombie. I got better.
Exactly.
Yes, give me. I had an aspirin. I'm fine. Okay, it didn't quite work, and I did get told off.
That's actually my cure on Sunday morning at Comic-Con when I actually wake up and get to go enjoy Comic-Con on Sunday. That's the only day I actually get to go in after all the zombie madness. I've usually been drinking the Saturday night at our party, whatever it may be, and then aspirin, a couple bottles of water, and straight to con. So yeah, that's the cure for zombiness, at least at Comic-Con.
So if anyone wants to take part in ZombieWalk this year, first and foremost, what's their first step then? I mean, what's the best way to get hold of you? And for more information. Best
way is Facebook, and we're really easy to find. It's facebook.com/SDZombieWalk. Or just go to SDCCZombieWalk.com. That'll lead you straight to our event page with all our information on both the walk and our party. And this year our party's kind of cool. We're doing a zombie prom. People have been asking for years at this point, when are we going to do a zombie prom? When are we going to do a zombie prom? Guess what, people? 2014, zombie prom. Get your tickets. We've never charged for a party before. This year we've been crowdfunding because we have no sponsor due to the untimely demise of FearNet. FearNet for the last few years has been our main sponsor, our main partner. I love everybody at FearNet, and I wish them all the best in their new endeavors. I wish they were still Fearnet.
I follow Scott Weinberg on well, as does most people follow Scott Weinberg on Twitter, and yeah, he bemoaned the whole demise of Fearnet as well, and yeah. I agree, because I think they did a fantastic job of promoting, especially small independent horror as well. I think that's Okay, so once they've gone to Facebook, and once they've gotten hold of you as well, or gotten hold of ZombieWalk on Twitter, which is
SD ZombieWalk.
It's
same as Facebook.
It's so simple.
It is.
Okay. Now, obviously, people can put together their own zombie makeup. Do you have people available to kind of help out with that as well?
We might. We're working on it. We're still a month out. One of the things that a lot of people might be surprised is that most of the offsite events and parties, the reason that they're not announced yet is because most of the marketing people are just now starting to make calls and start partnering up with people. I don't know why they wait so long. It's always perplexed me, but I'm just now being reached out to from potential sponsors. And I'm like, where were you guys a month ago? Where were you 2 weeks ago? You know, we have less than a month to go, so it's being worked on. We're hopefully going to have some makeup artists to provide makeup for people for a small fee or free if we can get away with it. In the past, we've gotten free, but again, that usually gets announced a few weeks before Comic-Con. So within the next week, keep an eye on our Twitter and Facebook. There's hopefully going to be some decent announcements coming out about things, little perks we're going to be able to provide for people.
Excellent. Because I've seen, and not only that, but if you actually have a look around downtown and around Gaslamp, there's always somebody set up a nice little chair with, I'm going to make you a zombie, sit down, and makeup gets plastered on, and you're a zombie. And you can buy. That's it.
As someone who works in special effects, I do fabrication and stuff. I have a lot of makeup artist friends and a lot of networking, and they always say, hey, can you hire me? I'm like, no, but you can go to San Diego and set up somewhere and do makeup and charge people, and they always do.
Excellent.
So we'll try and link out. We did a little bit last year as far as linking out to people who were, set up downtown, like you said, just any old where they just kind of pick a spot, and a lot of times they'll pick a salon, they'll pick like a Starbucks even, and just do zombie makeup that day. And for donation, $5-10, be zombie.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Okay, the other we've got a couple of questions that are coming in on the Q&A, and indeed one or two that are people are taking part. Questions and comments. That's what the Q&A button's for on the video. If you are taking part, by all means. We've got Janine, who's a good friend of the Hangouts. Hello there, Janine. Jennifer, my 15-year-old daughter and her boyfriend are planning on doing this. It's their first time. They cannot wait. Oh,
I love first timers.
It could be for BFF.
First timers. Yes, zombie virgins. Okay, that's possibly a strange term to use. I think.
No, that's.
Okay, well, I think we'll have to think of zombie first timers. We'll stick with that. That's fine. We've got Andrea Munoz, who's turned around and said, "Hello there, Andrea. By the way, thanks for watching." Jennifer,
I love this question.
I know. Are there any plans to extend the Zombie Prom sale if the goal isn't met? I'm kind of on the fence to commit my Saturday night this far out, to be honest.
Everyone is. And you guys are getting an exclusive.
Oh, here we go.
I have two announcements to make, and I'll make the second one before we end my little portion, so everyone else can start talking about their stuff. This exclusive information, yes. As soon as the crowdfund ends tomorrow, that means that you guys only have a limited amount of time to get your t-shirts. If you're a fan of Chris Grimley's artwork, you like zombies, you like anything tiki-oriented, you want an exclusive, guess what? I have a Comic-Con exclusive for you. Chris Grimley, we commissioned artwork from him, and he gave permission, something he normally doesn't do, for us to use the artwork to crowdfund our party.
Oh, wow.
We have the rights to use it for posters and t-shirts, which you can only get on our Indiegogo, which right now you can access. Just go to our Facebook, and there's links everywhere, trust me.
I'll get the link off you as well. We'll put it at the bottom of the description on this video and in the description of the audio version as well. Absolutely.
Because we have just over a day and a half left. It ends tomorrow night, basically.
Oh, well,
so
we'll try and get that link out as quick as we can then.
Limited amount of time. Now, you can also get prom packages, and those packages are probably going away as of the crowdfund ending. But here's to answer your question. Yes, you will be able to still get zombie prom tickets through a standard ticketing site, Flavorous. That link will go out as soon as the crowdfund ends tomorrow night. Ticket prices may stay the same. They may go down a little because right now we're working on a few things behind the scenes. There might be some announcements, like I said, the next week. So, and those who have already bought their tickets, if you buy your ticket from the crowdfund, and we have to if we choose or are able to lower the ticket prices on the ticketing site outside of the crowdfunding, outside of Indiegogo, anyone who buys their ticket now through crowdfunding, you're going to get extra perks to make up for that. If we can lower the price for everybody else, you're getting extra stuff. And it's not going to be, see, cat, right back there. I told you they'd crash. So you will get extra perks, you will get extra things. So trust me, if you're on the fence and you're leaning towards getting a ticket, do it now, because you can always resell the ticket after the fact. We're going to sell out. I guarantee tickets are going to sell out before Comic-Con starts. So that's going to happen. There's a lot of people on the fence. Tickets will be available. But it's better not to wait, because if you get your ticket now, again, perks are involved. So yeah. You're good. If you have to wait, wait. Your tickets will be there, but can't guarantee how long.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm actually I'm trying to kind of get this out, because I want to try, because I know that, like you say, only a couple of days to go. So let me. I'm going to dial up, and hopefully our other guests as well have got Twitter in front of them. I'm going to put the Twitter link out. So the Indiegogo link. Read it out to me.
Oh my goodness. IGG dot at, so AT, slash me slash prombies.
Spell that. PROMBIES?
Yes.
Okay. IGG.at slash me slash prombies.
Yes.
Okay, sending that out right now, because that's absolutely something that I think people should jump on, because
go look at our artwork and stuff.
The part that, I mean, like you say, I mean, you showed me the artwork, and it is hello, cat. Rafe. Okay, you've got a very athletic cat there. Okay. Okay. Like I say, it's one of the big things, and certainly one of the premier off-site parties, I think, from what I've seen pictures. I've never been able to get into the party myself, purely because I have been too busy to be a zombie myself, even though as a very pallid Brit walking around with either no suntan at all and being bleach white, or being beetroot red, I really could be a zombie if I spent 2 minutes kind of working on it. It's
That's
something that
how I go.
It's something that I'd really like to just let everyone know about, because I think it is just one of the best events. So yes, absolutely. Thank you very much indeed.
One last thing.
Oh, go for it.
One last thing. My other exclusive. This is our last party. We are not having any more.
Oh, what?
So if you've ever wanted to go to a ZombieWalk party, this is the year to go, because I'm not doing them anymore. I'm out.
Wait
ZombieWalk stays. Zombie prom, zombie parties, no more. This is it.
Oh, right. Okay. What does that mean for ZombieWalk?
ZombieWalk? Okay, I'll put it out there.
Okay.
ZombieWalk will stay in San Diego as long as Comic-Con is in San Diego. Currently, Comic-Con is only scheduled to be in San Diego until 2016. That's our 10th anniversary.
Ooh.
I have not completely made up my decision as far as how long ZombieWalk goes after 10 years. 10 years may be it. That may be a good note to go out on. So if you've ever wanted to come to ZombieWalk, This might be the year to do it.
This might be it.
Yeah. But
Wow.
this is the last Zombie Walk party. I'm not doing any more after this. I'm done.
Okay.
It's a big commitment.
It is each year, and I think you do make such an effort, and I think everyone should really say thank you very much indeed for all your hard work. Jennifer, yes.
Just show up.
Just show up. Fantastic. Does anybody have any questions for Jennifer before she goes? From our guests. I know that Tina's been looking forward to sort of like talking to Jennifer for ages.
Hi, Tina.
We're
Twitter buddies.
You have a fan here, absolutely.
She has a fan. I love Tina.
Excellent. So yeah, any questions from anyone before we kind of let Tina go? Let Jennifer go. Sorry. Anything? I think we've covered everything. And like I say, if you do want to take part, get hold of Tina on Jennifer on Twitter. By all means, you can either get hold of her on ZombieWalk on Twitter, or do you want me to read out your personal, or shall we leave that there? We'll leave that there. ZombieWalk on Twitter. There you go. All right. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Jennifer. It's been a pleasure. Do stick around by all means, or we can kind of disappear and have some sleep or something, because I know that you were out rather late last night, so that's cool.
Sleep is good.
Oh yeah. Right. So now to the main part of the show, of the Hangout of A Cup of Tea with an Englishman in San Diego. Thank you very much indeed to everyone who has joined us today. Do keep spreading the word, especially over the next couple of weeks, because like I say, we do have some very big guests. I can confirm the guest for next week, and I'm just deciding whether to... Yes, I think I will. We'll actually confirm that guest then. Joining us next Sunday is going to be Ryan, also known as Agent M, from Marvel. He is the main voice of Marvel Entertainment. He is the guy that mans the Marvel Twitter feed. He is known by most people who use Twitter and most people who follow the YouTube channel for Marvel as well. I'm trying to pronounce his surname correctly as well. It's Ryan Penegros. I believe that's the right pronunciation of his surname. But he's going to be joining us next week. And then the Sunday after is a guest who I'm not going to confirm just yet. Not because he's not going to be joining us, but just because he is a very big guest, a very special guest, and I want to kind of save it for a little bit yet. But safe to say, you do want to join us next Sunday for Ryan, Agent M from Marvel, but also for the Sunday after. We're also trying to land an extremely special guest for the 20th. That is staying very much under the radar because I want to make sure I get that nailed down first. Okay, like I say, you can join in on Twitter. Please use the hashtag CupOTSDCC if there's any questions that you want to jump in on. We were hopefully going to be having the TF Review joining us, Kyle from that, but he doesn't seem to be receiving the invites. We have been trying to connect over the last week, and we haven't been able to have time to do any technical run-through. So, Kyle, if you are watching or if you're listening to this, do jump in on the Q&A and answer any questions that people do have. Please do. Right. One thing that we are going to be talking about at the end, or if there's something that you want to take part in the Q&A, is something that we're going to be talking about. Doctor Who has been confirmed as not showing up at Comic-Con in 2014, which is big news. They didn't make an appearance in 2010, of course, when we had David Tennant being the 10th Doctor, and it was just when Doctor Who was starting to get very much recognised by BBC America and by the American fans. I remember being in queues and being asked left, right and centre, as a Brit, all sorts of questions about Doctor Who, and it was great to kind of talk about Doctor Who to people in the lines. However, 2011 is when things really took off for Doctor Who, and there has been a mammoth panel every year. However, 2014 will not be having Doctor Who. Who do you think should be filling the void on Doctor Who Sunday? Doctor Who usually takes up Hall H. Who should fill that spot? Jump in on the Q&A. Let us know who you think should be taking up that time, especially when it comes to filling in those rather large Hall H queue lines from Saturday afternoon, because everyone does seem to queue up for Doctor Who. Who should you think, or which subject or which TV show, or who should be on the stage for Hall H filling in for Doctor Who? So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit later. Right, first up, we have ourselves some news when it comes to collectibles and exclusives. And that's where we're going to go to two people in our panel guests. Hello there, Christopher Sully. Right then, sir, what has been the big news in exclusives this week?
Well, as you can tell from behind me, we're big Funko fans at NerdFu. So first and foremost, I got to talk about original Funko. They gave us two big announcements on Monday and Wednesday, and they're going to do that every week leading up to San Diego Comic-Con. But these two announcements on Monday and Wednesday gave us 4 different Ghostbusters pops. One is a 4-pack of all the Ghostbusters, and they are covered in the Stay Puft Marshmallow. One is a Venkman and Slimer 2-pack. Slimer's metallic. You got Slimer glow-in-the-dark as his own figure, and of course the big Stay Puft. I've got a couple back here. They're going to have a variant of that's the Happy Face Stay Puft in glow-in-the-dark.
Nice.
All those must-haves for me. They also announced some reaction figures. I don't know if everybody's aware of that reaction line they have that look like the vintage action figures, like the old 1970s and 80s Star Wars. A little simpler design on them. They've got a limited edition or exclusive Rocketeer in black and white.
That's the one I'm after.
Yeah, you did mention that one. And then
I'm a Ghostbusters fan like everybody else, and yes, they all look very, very nice, but I'm sorry, I am a Rocketeer fan above that. That's the one I want. I want that exclusive. So, yeah, I know, I promised myself that I would never get into the whole melee of sort of like jumping in for exclusives and doing the whole lines for exclusives, because I always thought that I'd like to wander around and take my time. But I might just be doing it for that figure. Oh, man.
You'll have to come join us Thursday morning. That's where we'll be in line.
Okay. I will see you, no doubt, about 500 people further back, no doubt. Yeah, because it really has been kind of, this exclusives this year, it's just been almost every day.
Right.
It's just been incredible. Anything else that's kind of caught your eye this week?
Yeah, Funko had a few others, but then, of course, Hasbro had a couple of big announcements this week. 2 different Transformers exclusives. One is they call it the Creon Class of 1984. It's like a big book that opens up, and inside are a bunch of tiny Transformers figures that all have that vintage 1980 look to them. And they also have the Dinobots collection.
Which I'm trying to dial up now on the screen, absolutely. Bear with me a second. Let me just see if I can show and broadcast and click on this. If you are listening to this on the audio version, I do apologize, but yes, we are looking at the moment at the Dinobots featured in this summer's Transformers Age of Extinction. This collection shows them in their classic black and gold color scheme as they appeared in the Transformers Gen 1 toy line back in the 80s, featuring Voyager scale Grimlock and deluxe Voyager scale Grimlock and deluxe scale Snarl, Strafe, and Dinobot Slug, all in their prehistoric glory. I do quite like the packaging as well. That looks just amazing because it transforms into like the Autobot Ark and Mount St. Hilary from the G1 animation. So they really are celebrating the history of Transformers with this. I think it's impressive.
That must be a pretty large set, too, because if you see the price on that, it's about $160. So I wonder if that's this year's Helicarrier or there's been some big ones in the past. But.
Well, I mean, I think there's been a number of large Transformers exclusives this year.
Isn't the Rock Band like $180? The Rock Band Transformers with the hair?
I didn't see that one.
Like that.
Oh, yeah. No, the 80s metal Transformers. Yeah.
Right.
Box, which it's like you get a poster. There's like a small vinyl that's with it. Yeah, that's. I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago on the Hangout, and yeah, it's just. I think if you're buying Transformers, number one, you've got to have some very big arms, and also more than willing to just bump the hell out of people as you're trying to negotiate the exhibit floor? Because
my 14-year-old saw the Transformers and the Rock Band Transformers and like, Transformers with hair? Really? So that made no sense to him, and he's the collector, and he's the one that I go off of. What do you think about the Maddie sale?
I hated it.
It was awful.
Let's bring ourselves let's bring ourselves Nerd Link. Let's bring John into the conversation. Hello there. Right. So yeah, did you take part in the Matty sale?
I did. I had a couple things in my cart or whatever, and then I got a few errors with it. I didn't know that there's about 3 different things you have to click before you can actually submit your order. And your shipping, which you can only choose to pick it up at Comic-Con. I don't understand why that was even an option. Then you have to then select, check off that you agree to buy these things. And I didn't notice that. And they don't really tell you, or they don't put it in very easy spots for you to find out. And then everything just sells out within a minute, and then you're kind of screwed. But oh well.
Yeah.
So did anybody get anything at the sale? Yeah,
Nothing.
I didn't.
I had the
Nothing.
same thing happen to me.
Oh my God, are we having shaking heads across the board?
All do it in unison.
Did somebody say, I thought I heard somebody say that the Hot Wheels might be available later on.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
I'd heard that.
According to the Mattel blog, it said that it's going to be available on the Hot Wheels website. So if you miss out at the Comic-Con, I don't think it's an exclusive. I just think that it's being introduced at the Comic-Con, but you're going to be able to buy it afterwards.
Oh. Okay. I'm not too happy about things that are introduced at con and that are not exclusives.
Yeah.
You know, they're introduced as exclusives, but they're not.
There's been a fair number of rumblings about that when it comes to, just kind of what the state of exclusives are when they are kind of getting sold, like online shortly after. It is a bit awkward.
Or people are doing pre-orders for figures that you can't pick up at Comic-Con that are going to be delivered to you anyway, and they're supposed to be released at Comic-Con. But they did a pre-sale with the Japanese toy company that did a lot of the Marvel statues, and those you can buy that can only be shipped to your home, but they're San Diego Comic-Con exclusives.
Oh, man.
What's the point?
Yes, it's been ridiculous, really. We've got 1 or 2 people who are just talking about the exclusives because I think they're kind of working out exactly what because there are so many exclusives coming out, they just have no idea what to go for. Janine, my son wants those Dinobots. I've never done Hasbro before. I'm nervous about even trying. Between between our guests, who's actually gone for the Hasbro exclusives in the past?
I have.
You have?
I might try actually this year.
Is it your first time for it? Don't do it.
I don't. If they're gonna have a Magic the Gathering, I gotta get some. If they have that set, I will do it. I'm gonna camp out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I usually try to avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah.
It's just
I go
so
for a
mental.
night.
It seems as though it might be just if you're just there for the day or something. It might be just as easy to just bite the bullet and pay eBay prices.
Yeah.
You know, I know.
I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, I know. That's a whole nother quagmire. Sorry.
Well, here's the thing with eBay. If you wait 6 months, prices go down exponentially.
True.
I'll say certain things.
Okay,
Yeah. Not on everything.
certain things.
Most things.
Dinobots will go down exponentially. It's not worth your time.
Oh, no.
Don't waste
here's
your
a
day.
quick thing. Hasbro last year had things up for sale that Monday after Comic-Con on their
They did.
website.
Yep. My thing with
that's
Kid
all.
Robot, too. If anyone's doing Kid Robot stuff, they did the Zombie Bart, the big one, I believe it was last year. I got on their website, in my hotel room at Comic-Con, paid the same price I would have to stand in line, chose delivery, and Kid Robot's not far from there in California. I had it. It was at my house before I got home from Comic-Con.
Wow.
No line.
That's sweet.
$10, save time.
Well, has anybody heard the rumors about Kid Robot this year?
No.
That this is a rumor, but my sources are pretty concrete that Kid Robot will not be at Comic-Con.
Whoa.
What?
This is it's still just a rumor, but from my understanding, Kid Robot they may just have a display, and that they're giving they're letting someone else use their spot in the vinyl toy area, and that there may not be any exclusives this year. If you've heard that Kid Robot closed their store in New York, in LA, then there's rumors of Boulder and San Francisco closing, and that this year may be a little. Nothing has been announced or anything like that, but that's the rumor I've been hearing, from some of my contacts.
Good grief. That would be big if they skip this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if anybody else has heard anything more of that or more of a confirmation.
I heard some rumblings, but it was pure speculation at that point, and they hadn't really nailed anything down. I've been paying very close attention to a number of social media feeds about them because, yeah, like you say, that would be a big thing if they did skip this year. So yeah, I think it's a case of everybody keeping an eye on. By all means, we'll try and get some information about that for you next week on the show. By all means, we've had Janine turn and say I've heard that about Kid Robot too. So I mean, the rumor is certainly doing the rounds. So we'd have to keep an eye on that. Let's see. I'm just going through the. Right now, we did actually have sorry, just to very quickly go back about the exclusives. I do apologise about this, but this one I do want to cover very quickly because it's about ZombieWalk. Because we did have somebody click on the link that I sent out just now on Twitter, just to confirm that link, because Jennifer has put that up on the Q&A. It's igg.me/@/prombies, PROMBIES. You can either click on that, or you can go to their Facebook wall, facebook.com/SDZombieWalk, and you can also find them on Twitter, SD ZombieWalk on the Twitter. Do click on that, and because I know that we have one or two people kind of a little bit concerned about whether the link was right, but there you go. That's the one. Okay, let's see what else we've got in terms of questions when it comes to exclusives.
I have
go for it.
While you're doing that, looking, I've got another pre-order site. If you're looking for the Scotty Young variants for the Star-Lord and the, I think he did Spider-Man 99.
Yep.
And the
Rocket.
And there's that X-Men miniatures one. Things from Another World is doing pre-order.
Yeah, they're out of the Rocket Raccoon. They sold out a couple days ago.
Right, of the Rocket Raccoon. Right. That's the one. So, yeah, just thought that people may, if they're going for those variants, those comic variants, they may want that.
If you just go to their site and type in SDCC in the search, they've got, I think there's 9 different books that are exclusives for Comic-Con this year.
Yeah, I'm getting the Black Science one too.
Yep.
That looks cool. So.
Cool. Right. Okay. Well, before we move on, is there anything else from exclusives that people have heard about, want to talk about? I think we've pretty much covered it because people aren't asking too many questions on the Q&A.
There's just one more I wanted to hear.
Oh, okay.
Titan figures. They make a lot of the small blind package vinyls, including they have a Doctor Who line. They just announced, I think it was a Friday night, 9-inch The Beast, giant red with big horns. as well as there's I think it's a 6.5-inch War Doctor and a 3-inch. It's the 10th Doctor wearing the 11th Doctor's suit, or vice versa. I can never remember which. But they've got 3 exclusives that they had announced so far. I don't think that's the end of their list.
No, I saw this as well, and I think this got announced at the same time that Doctor Who was announced that they were not showing up at Comic-Con this year. So next thing, that just kind of got lost in the news, unfortunately. Yeah, you're right. They are. The Beast one is particularly cute, and annoyingly, on most of the sites, people actually used the Beast as the first picture. So no one really kind of worked out that it was Doctor Who related. They just saw this rather cool-looking red Beast figure. It was very, very bizarre. But
the same thing that Alyssa was talking about. They're also premiering or introducing their new blind bag figures. I forget what the name of the line is at Comic-Con, so don't fall for that as an exclusive.
Cool.
I saw Jim pop up yesterday, I think it was. They're going to have another Jim doll at Hasbro. And every year I look at it and think about my childhood, and then I look at the price, and I'm like, oh.
$150? Was that how much it is?
Yeah, it's like pretty
Ooh.
expensive.
Comic-Con's just going to bleed us dry.
Hasbro booth is...
How much are you guys taking for exclusives this year? If you would, can you give us a ballpark of how much you're thinking of spending?
I already started to. I've been trying to put out a budget. It's not going anywhere.
So I know you were talking about. Well, today what I might do is just work on my budget spreadsheet. And when you're working on budget spreadsheets, then you know that it's just. It's ridiculous. So,
see, and that's why there's no more ZombieWalk parties, because my budget spreadsheet went from exclusive to
I gotta go get a payday loan advance.
Exactly.
Oh man. Oh hell. Okay. You know what? I think I'm just. Then again, I'm saying this. I want the Rocketeer Pop Funko. Knowing my luck, they'll probably announce something else between now and con, and I'll just explode because I've always turned around and said I won't do the exclusives thing. It's just not me, purely because it's too expensive. It's just too much.
This is my new habit here, and that one, you want to talk about expensive? You start getting into those guys with the original, the original stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm gonna put the camera on you for a second. What is that on the? Well, that is stunning. What
That's
is that
Jim. It's a Jim Lee from Superman Unchained.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my new pride and joy. So not cheap. Yeah, exactly. You know, so when I'm thinking about the Hasbro booth, I'm kind of going, well, I could do, maybe one or two of those and or the Hasbro booth. It's like, So, anyway.
Well, I mean,
exclusive T-shirts.
Well, that's I was just about to say, fantastic segue there. Alyssa, thank you very much indeed. Yes, Jim Lee indeed has done the artwork for this year's official T-shirt and indeed the souvenir book for Comic-Con, which is a Batman. It's actually quite a rare piece of work because he's not only inked it, but he's inked and drawn it. He's basically drawn it complete. He's coloured the whole thing. So that's the one of the T-shirts, and the other one is a very nice variant of the Talkin logo for Comic-Con International. And then, of course, you've got yourself the standard black Comic-Con International T-shirt, and new for 2014, you have the new pink version for the ladies, which I wasn't too sure about whether they should do that, because haven't they kind of talked about, sort of like gentrification at Comic-Con and okay, maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but anyway, I think I am. Okay, we'll leave it there. Very nice
Real men
T-shirts.
wear pink.
Okay, they do, and it takes a real man who can pull off pink. I can tell you that from personal experience, wearing enough pink shirts in my time. Then again, there was that fact that I did stick a red T-shirt in my white shirts, and I had no choice. It's the way it works, you see. Never let a bloke wash his own clothes. Always get someone responsible to do it. So no, yeah, but I quite like the look of them actually. Which T-shirts are you guys going for this year? Are you getting the T-shirts?
The Batman. I already ordered the Batman.
Yeah.
You know what? I really appreciate the last couple of years that they started making the women's sizes, because trying to get a small when they just had the unisex size was like impossible for me. So I'm really glad that they kind of split that out.
Sure. I mean, by all means, everyone on the Q&A, tell us what T-shirts you've gone for. I know that there's a number of people watching at the moment who have indeed blown an awful lot of money already on buying the whole range of them. Because
I have problems with T-shirt sizes as well, because I'm very small and Asian size. I cannot get T-shirts of normal US size. And the only place that probably I can get a size will be at NerdHQ, where they have just launched their new T-shirts at the Nerd machine. So I'm most probably going to get the ones at NerdHQ rather than the ones at Comic-Con.
Fair enough. Okay. Anyone else? Who else has gotten the T-shirts this year?
I've gotten the I'm getting the Bone shirt because it somehow seemed appropriate, being a forum owner, that I get the free speech is patriotic shirt. So, which was my thing. But I'm looking at the Toucan shirt. One thing I've noticed is that you can add to your order. So if you order a shirt, if you've already ordered a Batman shirt, you can go ahead and order a second shirt, and it will come in under that one order, so you don't have to mess with multiple pieces of paper. Sure. So, but I like the Toucan shirts. I've gotten those for the past 3 years. I'm just disappointed that it's black. I wish that it was. I like the cream or the a lighter color for the summer.
I quite liked the cream one last year. I thought that was nice. I thought it was a really nice looking shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've ordered. Well, I say I've ordered. I have not yet ordered any of the T-shirts. So if anyone could let me know if any of them have sold out already, purely because I work as a DJ at a weekend, and my wife works behind a bar at weekends. So we're both quite busy throughout the course of the weekends, and we haven't had the time to sit down and order our T-shirts yet, which we want to. And not only that, but my wife is, like I say, the responsible one, and she's got the credit card with all the funds for Comic-Con this year, so I'm waiting for her to come back, and then we can do, because she's at work at the moment, and the moment she comes through the door, we're ordering T-shirts. But I know I'm feeling a little, I may seem very kind of like under the thumb at this point, but it's true, purely because I can't go out of the house unsupervised. It's the way it works, and she's the grown-up in our particular relationship. So no, we are. Hopefully, I'm going to be getting both Batman and on the Toucan as well. I do quite like that Bone T-shirt as well. It's very, very nice.
I'm checking to see if any of them are sold out at this point, and I'll pop in with that if I get that info.
Cool. Excellent stuff. I think that's all ties in with something that has started this week, which is the tips of the day. 30 days non-stop of Comic-Con updates and news from CCI Direct, which is great because it does mean that CCI themselves are getting geared up for Con as well. Admittedly, I didn't expect the T-shirt announcements to come this soon. Because I was kind of following the schedule that they did when they announced that they were going to start their coverage for this year, and I was waiting on the interview to come first, and then the T-shirts, and then the T-shirts came out, and it just kind of threw me for a loop. It was very, very weird. But some very good tips on there as well, especially with the announcements once again of the shuttle service, which is returning for 2014. I'm going to mention that because if you've not been to Comic-Con before, and you're a little bit unsure about getting around Con, especially if you are perhaps at a hotel a little bit further afield, the shuttle service will absolutely save your life. It is one of, in my mind, one of the premier things that Comic-Con International and CCI have arranged for attendees. I think it is a godsend. I love the shuttle service, and I think it's a brilliant thing that they put on, considering it's free and it just runs 24 hours. Admittedly, I know we have one or two people who queue up for the Ballroom 20 panels on Friday and Saturdays, sleeping on the pavement outside of the convention center while the buses are endlessly rolling past. People talk about Hall H line being kind of the be-all and end-all of self-torture. But if you are in the Ballroom 20 line, I hold my hands up to you. I really do, because they put themselves...
It's a harder line to queue up for, the hard pavement, and you need a lot of training.
I keep thinking that someone's actually going to start marketing, like the gas masks, or sorry, the filter masks, just to kind of shall we get some branded ones printed up for this year for our cup of tea ones branded. Because all the exhaust and the fumes, it really is relentless, especially as it's 24 hours. No,
a British cup of tea. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm not thinking this through. Fine. It was just throwing an idea out there.
Great.
All right. Okay. Cup of teas. Earmuffs. There. How's that? Ear mugs. Ah. Thinking on my feet. Oh, good grief. Okay. Right. So yeah, do check out the Toucan blog on CCI for all the tips of the day. They actually have done one today while we were on air for places to go outside of San Diego Comic-Con, things to do within San Diego. They did a changes to San Diego yesterday, which I found very interesting, because there's something down on the bayfront, the water park, which the headquarters, that was it, which I really like the look of. I wouldn't mind going down there and see, because I like wandering around there, especially.
But I will say that San Diego, the city of San Diego and the county of San Diego that own that water park, the county specifically put out adults are not allowed in the water features, so you're going to have to stay out of it. You can look, but you can't touch.
There's another exclusive piece of news and a bit of a hint and a tip for all of you Comic-Con attendees. Don't go jump in the water feature.
Unless you're a kid. You're a kid, your kids can do it. Adults can't.
I'm a big kid.
That's ageism right there.
I am. It's ageism.
They should have adult water feature time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, okay, in the next couple of weeks then I'm going to start a campaign for Comic-Con week only, but grown-ups can join in.
Yeah, we need a change.org petition. We need adult swim time. We need adult water feature time.
Oh my lord. Okay, so yeah, those fantastic tips on Toucan. We've also had Bradley Goran, who's watching. Thank you very much indeed for joining us today. I'd love to hear everyone's tips and tricks for Twitter. I'm going to try and compile some lists over the next few weeks, but it's easy to get lost in the flood of tweets. Also, any good hashtags to use besides the usual suspects? I think we covered this a couple of weeks ago with people to follow in the social network. But the great thing about Twitter for me this week is that Hall H line and Ballroom 20 line, two fantastic accounts. They have started. They've started the fights. They've started the online battles. It's brilliant. I can't remember. I think it might be one of our guests. I can't remember if it was or somebody I followed. Basically, turned around and said the Twitter fights have started between Hall H line and Ballroom 20. At which point, I think I replied with, "Pass the popcorn. Here we go. Bring it on."
The lines are fighting.
I'm actually going to start my own this year. I'm not saying what it is, but there will be another parody Twitter account related to Comic-Con. Has nothing to do with zombies, but look for it to pop up in the next few days.
Okay. Bit of a tease. All right.
It'll start following you all. You'll know what it is.
Fair enough. We'll see.
And it's gonna join the fight. Trust me.
Oh, fantastic. Is there an Indigo ballroom line? Don't tell me have I just ruined it?
No, it's not. It's not a line.
Okay.
Well, sort of. It's something else.
I'll make an Indigo Ballroom line Twitter while I'm hanging out in the pool right at the hotel.
Oh my lord. Yeah, I keep expecting the Indigo Ballroom line to sort of like pop up and say, behave you two, like some sort of like grandmom, sort of like this school teacher.
Don't make me turn this car around.
Indigo Ballroom
We will not go to Comic-Con.
Twitter feed.
Yeah.
I would say certainly SDCC is the obvious one. There was a hashtag a year or so ago, SDCC Intel, INTELL. That I don't know if is going to get resurrected for 2014, but that was rather good because kind of a lot of people used it as kind of like this crowd fund kind of Intel hashtag. Like I say, the Ballroom 20. As for hashtags, I think Hall H, Ballroom 20, Masquerade, the usual suspects. Is any
The Nerd Machine.
Nerd Machine?
Yeah, Nerd HQ.
I'm going to pull off the Nerd Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to follow zombie stuff, we usually use the hashtag SDZombies. But this year, I think we're just going to do hashtag Prombies because it makes it easier and it's shorter.
Fair enough.
And I've been using it.
I think that's the thing. When you try and find a hashtag which is nice and short, you can just kind of jump in on. Yeah.
That I've seen. Another one that I've seen used is SDCC Celebs, because people do their celeb sightings. So if you want to know where someone might be on the floor, that's a pretty good one. So I've seen that for the last few years. It's not widely used, obviously, because there's celeb sightings, but usually people don't jump right on Twitter. Now they're getting on Instagram. But SDCC Celebs, I do see that getting used. So if you're one of those celeb chasers, you might want to have that as a follow.
Cool. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of a little bit distracted because we have one or two people asking, and I think we're getting one or two people actually putting in their own hashtags in the Q&A. Please, by all means, let us know if there's any that you suggest that Bradley should follow, because, which I think, I think Bradley could do with some help. But I think there's usual suspects, and they will start cropping up over the next couple of weeks. Okay, the next thing we will cover, because, I think we'll try and keep this under a nice tight hour. Who knows? We might do. I think the two big pieces of news then are, this week, the 20th Century Fox. And for that, I think we will go over to Kimberly. Now then, Kimberly. Because, like I say, I've been a little bit distracted this weekend, and I haven't been able to keep an eye on what's going on. What's been announced?
Well, SDCC blog announced that the 20th Century Fox panel will move to Friday. And they had a panel, I think it was 90 minutes last year, which they tore it up with. I was there, and that X-Men Days of Future Past panel with all the cast there, I almost died. It completely blew me away.
It was epic.
It was one of the best panels that I've seen. So they think it might go a little bit longer. This might be a sign that they might want to do something longer. They've got Kingsman: The Secret Service coming out, Fantastic Four, so they might have them there. The Book of Life, some more X-Men movies. I know Maze Runner has confirmed that author confirmed that from 4 to 7. They even have a time. So
wow.
You'll probably see that. And I don't know if my question is it because 20th Century Fox wants to expand their time, or has Marvel and DC kicked them out of Hall H on Saturday and are going to take over that entire section? I don't.
I personally would. I don't think they would. not because of 20th Century Fox. Sorry, not because of Warner Brothers and not because of Marvel. Purely because I don't think Comic-Con would let them. I don't think they would expand their time. Because otherwise it doesn't then just become. I mean, unofficially it is the Warner Brothers Marvel show on a Saturday. But I don't think that they would officially make it kind of like just all about Marvel and DC in one day. I think it'd be. I think they would still try and keep it in the blocks. I don't know. Is anyone's thoughts on that?
That's a good chunk of time, though, that they're losing on Saturday, so I wonder what they're going to fill it with. I'm hoping, like, Star Wars. I don't know. Come on, please.
There's the thing. There's the thing. Well, I mean, that is, of course, yeah. Who knows? I mean, we've got a comment from Graham, but I think this is more... yeah, this is tied in with Fox. They're basically saying, do you think with Fox moving to the Friday, we might see Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead moving to the Sunday now that there's no Doctor Who? I think we're going to cover this a little bit later about who's going to fill the void of Doctor Who. But Fox moving to the Friday, it's possible. Purely because I think they actually just also want to get the hell out of the way of that noise that Marvel and Warner Brothers kind of make. Perhaps. I don't know.
I hope not.
I think they had the best showing though last year. Because I still couldn't get over the X-Men. I love Hugh Jackman, so to see him up there for a very long extended period of time because he was there for 2 panels, I was excited, and I was a big Star Trek: The Next Generation fan, so I'm like, oh my gosh, Jean-Luc Picard is like right there. It was amazing to me. So I think they did a good job last year. I'm actually excited to see what they bring this year. Although I'm dreading having to be in a line for 2 days. That kind of, I don't know about that. It kind of worries me.
That's I think the comments that I've been seeing on Twitter and social media. That's basically been it. That they would prefer to pick one day, and with this, it's just going to kind of really put the cat amongst the pigeons. Who went to Hall H last year? Out of our guests.
I did.
And so I mean,
I did.
Kimberly, your highlight was Fox. Anyone else? What stood out for you guys last year?
I think definitely X-Men and then the Marvel panel with Loki.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I only get to go to one panel a year, so.
Because it's just tied up with everything else.
Yeah, and it's the same panel every year, and I'm okay with that. And now I'm scared because it's always on Sunday, and if anyone's wondering, it's Sons of Anarchy. That's the only panel I get to go to.
Yes.
And it's the last one on Sunday, so. But I'm scared if they move something else bigger. I've already had to fight with Doctor Who being right before that, and hoping all the Whovians get out so I can move closer. I don't want Star Wars. I don't want anything big there. Put something small so I can get right up on the stage.
I like Graham's idea, though, of Walking Dead on Sunday. That actually made a lot of sense to me, in place of Doctor Who. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't. But
don't do it.
We're not jinxing you, honestly.
Yes, you are.
No. Okay, let me put it this way. When I turn around over the microphone and I say, have yourself a fantastic weekend, apparently the weather is going to be absolutely glorious. By all means, get out the barbecue kit. It's going to be fantastic. It is currently showers here in the UK, so I jinx things in the opposite direction. So I'm saying these things, and it's not going to happen. So don't worry about it. I do kind of like, I do a reverse jinx. So you're going to be fine.
But now that you're saying don't worry about it, I'm going to have to worry about it. So
I am not Loki. Okay, I'm not the one. I'm not the prankster here. All right, Jesus. Okay. Let's see. Barbara from When Nerds Attack, who hopefully we'll be having again as a guest on this hangout in the future, because we're big fans of Barbara. Loki stood out, of course. That was my highlight. I think a lot of people just, I mean, I think the reason why that also worked is because they just did it so well. With Kevin Feige on stage, just trying to talk, and then the microphone's cutting out, and then next thing you know, he's just there. I just love it. I mean,
awesome.
All you have to do is just go onto YouTube, and you can barely hear him talk because it's just the noise is just incredible.
I still get goosebumps when I watch it again.
We've had Natasha Williams, hello Natasha, turning around saying if Game of Thrones is on Sunday, people would invade the swag room afterwards. The Game of Thrones always has the best swag.
They do.
It's true. And if anything, you never know, you might be getting a book. As per usual.
Bringing up swag, the first year I lucked into the Falling Skies panel. It was 2 or 3 years ago, and they gave out those sweatshirts, like a little lightweight hoodie. So they did exceptionally good swag their first year. I think TNT, The Last Ship. I can't imagine them not having a panel at San Diego, and if so, I would assume that they may also have good swag. I don't know. This is a lot of hypotheticals, but
True.
I don't know. I may make it a point to get to that panel just because the swag may be good.
Has anyone noticed that the swag kind of quantity has dropped over the last 2-3 years?
For panels?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Overall, on the floor, too. A lot of people were remarking on the floor last year that there weren't a lot of freebies, and the freebies that were out were really cheap and just stuff nobody wanted to grab. So, and honestly, one of the trends I'm also seeing is less off-site events. People aren't putting a lot of money out this year, so I wouldn't count on a lot of freebies this year either. I think a lot of the studios are starting to dial back, and a lot of production companies are really dialing back on how much money they're allocating because just the cost to be at Comic-Con in the first place is getting so astronomically high. So I say watch for that trend to continue this year with not a lot of freebies being given out.
Okay, you say that about off-sites because everyone has been talking. Well, we spoke to David Glanzer, and he really does like to promote that idea of San Diego as this massive festival outside of the convention center. And I think we've all noticed that it's all been about exclusives over the last couple of weeks. Very little in terms of off-site. There's been a number. There's been 1 or 2. There's the usual suspects sort of starting to make rumblings, and I'm kind of thinking that this week, because it kind of does get blocked out into weeks, I think this week is when we start seeing off-site announcements. But I think it's gotten a little bit later that they're announcing them this year. So
there's also a reason for that. Because I did have to go to a lot of venues downtown to book our party, I now have an insight as to the prices that venues are charging for booking.
Oh.
I will tell you that I had 2 venues quote me for, and these are our times, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday, so not even in their prime alcohol times. They could have still had, alcohol 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. They wanted to charge us for 4 hours for the venue almost $90,000 just for the facility fee and the alcohol guarantee. And that one venue had a capacity of about 300 to 400 people. So they wanted our alcohol guarantee to be so astronomically high that there's no way that all those people could have walked out alive. And that's why I don't think there's going to be a heck of a lot of off-site events this year as far as like parties and open bar and all that stuff, because the venues are getting greedy. They are getting very greedy as opposed to like 2-3 years ago.
And they need to be blank. They need to be dark during that time if they're going to charge that kind of money. That's just stupid.
Well, that's just it's getting into the whole thing of San Diego generally just kind of bumps up. It knows there's a captive audience there. It knows there's money coming in. We've had
I think they've hit
taxis.
Yeah, I think they've hit their peak, though. I think venues are going to learn after this year. Hopefully, they can't charge that much. And even HBO and Showtime and Fox, nobody's going to pay that. It's you're not going to see people wanting to pay that just to get people at Comic-Con in to talk and have a buzz. The marketing's not worth that much money. They could give out exclusives, they could give out freebies inside the convention or even outside the convention on the street and get way more buzz going other than having an open bar for 200, 300, 400 people. You know, people talk about open bar for that night. You give actual concrete, you know, static things away, they're going to take that home and keep talking about it. They're going to pass it on. So the venues are going to have to learn that. That's just, no, you can't. They're outpricing themselves.
It's not just the kind of like the larger, well, you say 300-400 capacity. I mean, we would, I run a UK attendees group, and we were trying to find somewhere for our meetup in this year, and we've just decided that we are going to be gate crashing a venue, he says, putting hand over mouth, purely because the venues that we did kind of, because we were talking about maybe 50, 60 people. The venues that we've tried looking into, they just know that there's money coming into San Diego, and they want their slice. It's as simple as that. Very, very tough.
And they assume all groups have money. That's the other problem. So it's making it harder on fan-run stuff like you run and like I run. We don't have the studio money behind us. So
I ran into an interesting group during Twitter or something the past couple of weeks. It was a guy is trying to establish a group for people who are recovering addicts. So it's on the link is on the forum. But it seems like a great organization. But I fear that he's going to run into that same kind of problems that you're talking about with trying to find an inexpensive place to house it, and it's just not going to happen. Alcoholics, you know, and so forth. So,
I mean, I think the only way that you can actually have an off-site event nowadays is to have that kind of large budget behind you, like you say, like a company, or I mean, for example, Deacon Sundry have announced their efforts for Comic-Con this week. They've taken up a residence at a bar. Which bar they decided
Jolton
to?
Joe's.
Jolton Joe's, yeah.
Have they?
Not cheap. Again,
they did that last year.
They're taking over. They're taking over my favorite pub.
They did that last year.
No.
They did that last year.
I'm never gonna get in there now.
Nope.
Damn it. Okay. Fine.
Time for new favorite pub.
I love that place because they always play some decent 70s and 80s air guitar, rock metal, and you're always walking in there some half decent. No, you can always walk in there some decent Led Zeppelin or Whitesnake being played, and have a decent pint. You can have a decent pint in there. Oh man. Okay. Well, fine. Never mind. Then you've also got Nerd Machine as well, and we've got somebody new to our Q&A who hopefully is a new viewer. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Brian Bodica. I think I've gotten that surname right. Does anyone have any insight to the happening at Nerd Machine? I have a friend who only has passes to Thursday and Sunday of Comic-Con, but will likely be down in San Diego for Friday and Saturday, and is looking for Comic-Con type related events to engage in. Has anybody heard any word regarding Nerd Machine at HQ yet?
Nope.
That's just sorry, Brian, but you are going to be hearing about Nerd Machine 2 days before Comic-Con, if not the night of preview night. It really is the way that works. Yeah, it's just there's no, because the whole thing about Nerd Machine is tied in with the schedules for Comic-Con, which reminds me, the next thing that I want to very quickly talk about. The Tips for Toucan blog is the daily updates, and they do start talking about the schedules soon. Is it next week that we're looking at, or is it the week after?
10 days. 10 days. So
10
the
days.
weekend of the 12th.
The weekend
right around
of the 12th.
Hurry up!
Yeah. Like I say, we have a very special guest happening on that particular night, and we may have to change the times for this hangout, because I think we'll be doing a schedule kind of show about how things are getting rolled out, and obviously those are kind of the regular days that those panels come out. So do keep an eye out on my Twitter and the Twitter of our guests we may have to switch the times because, like I say, we've got a big guest. I do want to spend a lot of time talking to him, but we do have the schedules kind of coming out on that, assumed to be coming out on that weekend in about 2 weeks' time. Okay, just very quickly go through a number of the Q&As. Dan Berry, hello Dan, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Nerd Machine, Nerd HQ usually announces their schedules after Comic-Con, does theirs to prevent scheduling conflicts. Right, which leads me on to this thing, because I'm kind of going to go into this topic in a backdoor kind of way. Doctor Who is announced that it will not be coming to San Diego Comic-Con. It's been, I actually found out about this about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I was told to keep stum. We had the announcement by San Diego unofficial blog 2 days ago, and then it just basically hit the net that everyone now knows. Not coming to Comic-Con. Now, I did a post about this. Well, first and foremost, what does everyone think about this? Who are the Doctor Who fans?
I see it as, okay, the problem is it's when you change doctors, there's such a big following for that one doctor that people get distraught. I know, I was on the floor. And I think maybe they need to give people that time to get used to the new doctor before bringing him up. And I think that's probably the direction they're going. That's just a guess, though, on my part.
But
okay.
Considering when, like I say, I mean, Doctor Who didn't come to Hall H or to Comic-Con in 2010. It started from 2011, and that was in the David Tennant and Matt Smith years. And America really kind of embraced Doctor Who. You'd had Christopher Eccleston before. You had the younger Doctors. This is definitely going back to an older style, the old classic William Hartnell style of Doctor, the older Doctor. And a number of UK fans have certainly been wondering how the Americans are going to embrace an older Doctor. Is he going to be that grandfatherly figure, or are they just going to go, he's not as pretty, I don't like the look of him, he may be 900 years old, but I couldn't shag him. He's a little bit he's too old for me now. So you'd think that they'd kind of take this opportunity to really kind of put him up there on a pedestal. Hall H is the biggest showcase in the world for it, and it's just a shame. Thoughts? I mean, what's everyone? I don't think we've actually brought this up. What's everyone's thoughts on an older Doctor?
I like it.
Love it.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Kimberly, did you just groan?
I did. But that's just this is my first. I went back and started watching with Eccleston, but when I started watching, I knew Matt Smith was the Doctor. I knew I was getting to him, so this is just my first switch from Doctor to Doctor where I've invested like my emotions into one Doctor. So I just need to go through that process. That's all. Hopefully, I'll come out okay on the other end. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna give him a shot though. So.
Okay. And Jennifer had 2 thumbs up. She was happy.
I do not watch Doctor Who. It is one of my most hated shows. I've tried for years. I've given it a shot. I used to live in the UK. I was married to a Brit, so I tried. I really did. For the last, 15 years, I have been trying to get into Doctor Who. Shut up, Cat. Tina, I told you.
Doesn't agree with you.
This is Mao, by the way. This is Chairwoman Mao.
Well,
see,
Chairwoman Mao's turning around saying Eccleston for life.
Exactly. No, she's Matt Smith for life. She's very fangirl. She's with Kimberly. But no, I love that you're getting to see the true Whovians at this point. Because I have a lot of acquaintances and friends who are chicks who were like, oh my god, so cute, oh my god, I have to watch this, Matt Smith's so hot, and whoever the other dude was, the 2 younger dogs, I don't even care. But see, this is how I get. And they get all into how hot they are, and oh my god, I have to watch a show, and the same reason they watch Walking Dead for Norman Reedus, oh my god, he's so hot. Dude, get over it. For those girls, I know a few of them are watching because they're my friends. I know they're watching right now. Get over it. The dude playing the new Doctor is a great actor. Give him a shot. I might actually try again. I try with every new Doctor, and I can't connect. This one, I might, because I like his acting. So
I didn't actually. I actually, because the speculations about who was going to be announced as Doctor, as this Doctor, his name kept popping up, and I turned around and said, "They're not going to do it. They're not going to get him. He's too big an actor. He is too established as a very, very recognized actor. He isn't going to have the time. He's too busy. It's not going to be him." And he walked out, and I just went, "I'm out. Yeah. Okay, fine. I'm fine. I'm out. Whatever." But I'm so pleased it's him. Because in the UK, whenever if you do speak to a Brit in the lines, and you do talk to them about Doctor Who in the UK, there are a couple of programmers which define their childhood. There's Top of the Pops, which was kind of like a weekly music show, and it's the generation of how they hosted it, whether they had Radio 1 DJs, their own hosts, whatever. There was always a certain era. So there's Top of the Pops, and there's Doctor Who, and you always had your Doctor. My Doctor is Tom Baker. I am a Tom Baker Doctor Who. That's me. However, my favourite Doctor is William Hartnell, because that man just defined that character. And not only that, but it did it in such a brilliant way. It was like House is now, or House was when it was running, or your anti-heroes on television right now. Because when he came in that first episode, you watch An Unearthly Child again, he's a git. He's an absolute swine. He's man. It's just insane. So yeah, it'd be. I would have loved to have seen Capaldi walk out on stage on Hall H. But then there's been, and I wrote about this 2 weeks ago on my site, and I basically called the fact that they may not be bringing Doctor Who to con. Now, over the last couple of days, people have been saying that the official line is that it's because they're shooting. As far as I was aware, they'd done the vast majority of principal, and it was all effects work at this point by, not the Mill, the other effects house that took over in November. Anyway, so is it about Comic-Con last year? Because Stephen Moffat was on stage, he pretty much berated the entire 6,500 people in that room, saying, "We're going to show you the trailer for Day of the Doctor. Do not put this online." 3 hours later, that's exactly where it was. Is he taking his bat and ball then, as we say in the UK?
If that were the case, I hope it is, because people need to learn. Comic-Con, when you get exclusive footage, keep it at Comic-Con. Don't ruin it for everybody else. You know, if these people are nice enough to come and show us things, you know, you're paying how much money to be there and see this stuff? Don't ruin it, because this is the stuff that may happen, is they're going to stop showing us things. They're going to stop giving us things. They're going to stop wanting to make the effort to be there and include us, you know, ahead of time. So enjoy the fact that you get to see it.
Go on, you were saying there. Who's talking?
I was. John was. I get what you're saying, but I don't think that'll ever happen. Anything that's going to be in a panel is going to get leaked by someone. And if they stop going there, maybe a lot of us can get tickets a little more easily to Comic-Con.
Yeah, but honestly, it wouldn't be Comic-Con if it weren't what it is now. People wouldn't want to go. I mean, yeah, there's the diehards like us, you know, who want to go for what I call the right reasons, because we enjoy the pop culture, we enjoy the nerd stuff, we enjoy the celebration of all things awesome, right? So, but there's a lot of people that go just because they're part of a fandom, or it's something for them to, like, you know, say they went to. Like, I was at Woodstock, you know, like someone getting to say, oh, I went to this one time, awesome. So if they stop going, there will be less people doing that, but at the same time, we don't get a lot of the stuff that we kind of really dig about Comic-Con too. I mean, we're there because we want to see it, not because we want to brag or put it online necessarily. We just want the insight and the exclusive, viewing. These people are putting it up so that they can say they were the ones that were there and they put it up. So they kind of are ruining it for us.
Yeah.
It's the old meme. It's the old line. This is why we don't deserve the shiny things.
This is why we can't have nice things.
I think they need to say that though, if that's the reason, so people know. Because if they don't say we're not coming because you guys leaked this footage, then it's not going to have any kind of effect. So he should definitely say something.
Okay. So in that case, this is what I'm leading on to, because they're saying that they're shooting, and at the end of the day, they turned around and said that they may not go back to Comic-Con because of the screenings of or the leaking of the footage last year. However, Stephen Moffat is a unbelievably huge fan of Nerd HQ. Here's the question.
Oh my god.
No.
Would Stephen Moffat take the whole thing across Harbour Drive?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What is it, like 600 feet?
I know. I've seriously, from the reactions of everyone, just saying it out loud as a possible theory.
Yeah, I just got to be ridiculous.
Because the thing is, before he quit Twitter, Stephen Moffat was just ranting and raving about Nerd HQ. He's a big fan. He's a big friend with the organizers and with I think it's possible. I really do. If anything, if Stephen Moffat went, I can perhaps imagine that he might go with Matt Smith and with I've just had a complete mind blank there for a second.
A companion?
The companion for Matt Smith. Please help.
I was going to call her Sarah. Like, I can't. Like,
why can't I think of her name?
Like her the old companion? His old companion?
No. Matt Smith's,
the new one?
The dark-haired one?
Jenna Coleman could show up with Matt Smith, but there's also Karen Gillan. Thank you.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Hello, brain. You just heard that brain just sort of like crunch gears there for a second. Karen Gillan is a big fan of Comic-Con. She likes going. But then again, it's possible that she won't be showing up because she's doing press for Guardians. I'm still not convinced they're coming to Comic-Con. Deal with it. So people are just jumping on this on the Q&A now, and I think Stephen Moffat could go to Nerd HQ. I think he could just take it, because at the end of the day, they stream the panels, but it's all done for charity. It's smaller, it's more intimate.
I'll try to buy tickets if they do.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's kind of like crazy.
Okay.
SDCC, the website.
There were 6,500 people in that panel last year, with 2,000 people outside. Nerd HQ holds 350 people.
Yeah.
That'd be a hot ticket.
That's like driving a Volvo down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry. That's going to be one hell of a. That's going to be a mess.
And if it doesn't happen, we know who to blame.
Thank you. And my work here is done. We've got people sort of like saying that it's possible. We've got. They are. I'm certain that when the news dropped, somebody at BBC America's heart just went very cold, because obviously they want a lot of. It is their linchpin for their stand. Dan Berry correctly puts that they will be having a presence at Comic-Con in terms of fan art, which they're asking to be submitted. But then again, there's also other things that BBC America can bring, such as Orphan Black. And I know you're a fan. And also a show which I want to bring up, and I'm hoping that there's going to be a panel announced this year, because it got shown at the beginning of the year here in the UK. The Muzquiz. Has this started showing in the US yet?
Yeah,
Yes.
it started last week.
And
it was good.
Everyone's thoughts?
I liked it.
It's fun. I like it.
Yep. I saw the first episode. That's the only thing that's aired so far, but it was enjoyable.
Jennifer?
It's on my DVR apparently. I forgot it started last week. I guess I know what I'm watching when we're done.
Okay. It's not okay. I personally recommend it because it's a lot of stupid noise with a hell of a production value, and it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It really is. Peter Capaldi in there again.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing. If there's going to be a panel, Peter Capaldi could easily be in town. I'm sorry, I'm trying to work out and trying to negotiate where people could be and whether he could be in town and whether he could then go over and do a Doctor Who thing.
SDCC celebs.
Hashtag SDCC conspiracies.
When I first heard the news about Doctor Who not being there, I thought, well, maybe the Doctor Capaldi and his new companion weren't going to be able to be there, and it would just be Moffat and Capaldi, and they would have, a kind of a not Doctor Who panel. But the wording of it didn't seem to work, so I was spinning a wheel of false conspiracy there for a moment.
I personally think that they could have some kind of panel, but I just don't think Stephen Moffat will do it. I think he really has just thrown his teddies out of the cot, and I think he could go across the road. It's simple as that.
Wow.
So there we go.
What does that say about San Diego? Like, that's so like controversial. Like, he leaves, he's like, I'm not doing this at Comic-Con, and he goes to Nerd HQ and has a panel. It's kind of like
that would send Nerd HQ through the roof, and at that point, crowdfunding be damned. They could have just written their own ticket at that point.
You just open it up and use the whole stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, so do expect that. We're holding a panel, and by the way, we're holding it down on the ballpark. Guests to be announced.
See, every time I hear about Nerd HQ now, it's really weird for me because I actually got married at Petco Park.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, wow. So my wedding was kind of one of those exclusive events. Awesome.
Did it cost you $1 million to put on?
No, not at all. That's why I'm wondering, why do you need $1 million? I mean, I know hotels are expensive for your guests and all, but jeez.
That is one hell of a wedding cake.
Yeah, I know, right?
Your cat wants to be on screen. Let your cat be on screen.
She can if she wants. She keeps jumping up. I don't know. No, it just hears me talking. I don't talk.
Hi, Chairwoman Mao. Everyone say hi.
Here. Say hi
Wow.
now. Look, you're famous now. Yes. Back to Comic-Con.
Okay. Right, let's very quickly then go through a number of Q&As, questions, and then we can, I think we'll start wrapping things up. You have been tweeting in and sort of like messaging us about what could fill the void of Doctor Who. We've had a number of people saying Game of Thrones, a lot of people saying Walking Dead. Indeed, people are talking about that little conspiracy about Nerd HQ. Tickets will be insane to get. I think that's a given. What else have we got here? I think a lot of people have just been kind of thrown by just that whole news about Doctor Who. But then again, like people have said, there are other things that they could be there to talk about. Karen Gillan does have a new show this fall on TV. Now, I've heard about this, and I'm trying to remember the title of it. But it's she's like a social butterfly that's doing her best to do up her social status or something. So she's got things to promote. Yes, there's Guardians of the Galaxy, but who knows?
Oh, Selfie.
That's the one, Selfie. That's the show. Yeah. But like I say, so then you've got, yeah, no word yet from Jenna Coleman about whether she's going, and I am paying close attention to her any kind of Twitter feed here. I have had a comment telling me about Nerd HQ and Doctor Who that I'm talking out of my bum. Way too big an event for that audience alone. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It is an extremely small room. But at the end of the day, I think Stephen Moffat could just do it out of spite.
But you know, last year they did the Firefly screening in the evening on the grass.
Yeah.
No reason why they couldn't set up a stage and do it out there.
Also,
this money that they're talking about raising might not just be for that one small convention center. That's like the Petco Park room. They may be wanting to expand to a bigger room.
And to add to that, here's supporting that theory. The fact that the Walking Dead escape is only Friday, Saturday at night now. It's after 6 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. Before, it was all 4 days and during the day.
You're right.
So, Nerd HQ might be having the actual ballpark and more space because of that. That actually, now this all makes sense.
Yeah.
This is where, in a couple of weeks' time, we all end up looking like idiots.
We're all geniuses, and we're all right.
Or geniuses. No, okay, let me clarify then. This is where, in 2 weeks' time, we all could be looking like geniuses, or I could look like a complete idiot. Let's just lay all the blame. I will gladly shoulder that. Fine, but yes.
One thing that people have said about Petco is they were really worried about people sitting out in the sun. So I don't, sitting in Petco Park in the sun.
Yeah,
I do that for baseball games, and I'm fine. Bring sunblock. You're in San Diego.
It is a whole day, though. It is a whole day.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go very quickly through a number of the. Oh, go on. Go. Go on.
Huh?
You're carrying on talking.
Not me.
Okay. Sorry. I thought we'd agreed, by the way, if I just carried on talking or interrupted everyone would just go, time out, Leonard. Grown-ups, Leonard, grown-ups are talking. Interrupt me.
Is there a voting system to mute somebody?
Yes.
Mute them on.
You vote them off the island?
What you do is you all put your hands up, and when I see a row of hands, I just go, okay, I'll be over there somewhere. I'll sit in the corner. That's fine. Okay.
I can change the topic if you want.
Go for it. What would you like to talk about?
I have recently, and I'm probably late to the party on this one, have seen some trailers for a movie called Showpiercer, Piercer.
Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous trailers, and apparently it's getting limited showings in the States over the course of the next 2 weeks. I've heard some people who have seen it, and they've said it's absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to put a link up to the thread on the Q&A so that people can find that.
Oh, go on. What's that, Chris?
I say it's got a heck of a cast. It's been out for like a year in Korea and just now getting an American release from Weinstein Company. But you got Chris Evans, Tilda Swinton, and Ed Harris are in it.
And the lead from Turn is also in it, who I absolutely love. He's cute.
Yeah.
Sorry.
From good grief! He was in the King Kong. He was in Tintin. Thank you. So yeah. Well, I am going to admit I have been slightly distracted this morning when it came to conversations. And it's about this because this film, Snowpiercer, was screened at the Edinburgh Film Festival this weekend, and a number of people I follow went to see it. there has been, like you say, a lot of controversy about how it's been marketed. It looks like Weinstein's almost wanting to just nail this in the ground and only put it on something like 300-400 screens in the US, which is just ridiculous. Especially when you do see the trailer, it is insane. Did it have a panel last year?
I don't think so.
So really, no one knows about this film. It's just insane.
I would love to see a panel about it this year.
Is it too late?
Depends on if they want to go wide release.
I think a lot of this controversy might kind of Shanghai the Weinstein Company into a wider release. Because it's shaping up to be very much... Because while the director and Weinstein have turned around and said that there's no real fight, we're not having an argument, this is just the way it's turned out, the edit that's going out in the States is my edit, that's fine. Admittedly, there's the longer and what I feel is the better edit in the markets where I've sent it out already, but I'm not fighting with Harvey Weinstein. But it's feeling very much like Brazil with Terry Gilliam, where the studio just is putting so much control on the release of this film. I'm trying my best to find out when it's released here in the UK. If you've got it in the US, if you could find a screening of it, watch the trailer. I mean, it looks like it's kind of geared towards like a young adult kind of vibe, that kind of Divergence, kind of Hunger Games kind of vibe, but it's got a red band trailer, so it doesn't pull any punches. It's the theater that it's showing at close to me, and I'm in a small town in New England, is kind of more of an artsy theater. It's definitely not showing in the larger 3D big screen theaters. They don't have it. So you've got to actually search this one out. It's showing. I think it's starting to be shown in my area July 2nd. Somebody. There's another place that was saying that it was opening up this week in a few other theaters.
When I looked on IMDb earlier this week, the limited release started this past Friday, in a lot of places.
That's incredible.
I see a couple of them in LA, like in LA, West Hollywood. Let's take a drive and go see it.
It's certainly something. I mean, if there is a panel announced, I would certainly look out for that. I'd be in the room for that. Absolutely. Right. Let's see where we're going with the Q&As. I want to rush through these because there's something I want to cover at the end. Sorry, I do apologise. I'm just going through a number of these. We have had a comment from Barb from When Nerds Attack that Snowpiercer is pretty violent, actually. It may hinder its not young adult at all. It could hinder its wider release, but like you say, the cast I think would bring them in for that. Another comment about the Doctor Who at Nerd HQ, basically saying that I don't know Moffat well enough to say that. This is very, very true. It's all speculation. It's all speculation. But I think we've all kind of worked out that, or we've discussed today, that the stars are aligning, and it's just things that could be talked about. Okay, last thing I want to talk about then is about a giveaway, and certainly about preparing for Comic-Con. We're 3-4 weeks out, and some of us are starting to pack already. Who's packing? Yep, Jennifer's. You live close. You're in San Diego. You don't have to.
No, I'm not. I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, you're in Los Angeles. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm
back in my hometown.
Sorry, I do. Oh, that's right. That's probably why I got confused. Sorry. Oh, right. Okay. So you're who else is packing?
Me. I'm packing.
Yeah.
I'm a last minute.
Pack like the night before.
Yeah, me too.
Well, okay. I have done in previous years. I packed the night before, and then I got punched in the arm, so that stops.
I have to ask really quick. I have to ask, for those who pack the night before, how do you do it? Help me.
It's an all-day type of thing. I don't sleep, kind of.
I don't do that anyway.
To the con.
Okay. We talked the other week about things that you really need to have inside your backpack. However, there is the possibility that you could win an all-in-one backpack ready to go with everything in there that you possibly need. And that's where I now turn my attention to Christopher Sully of the NerdFu.
Hey, thanks for bringing it up.
No, absolutely. I wanted to bring this up because this is a great giveaway that you've put together. Tell us about this giveaway that you're doing.
First off, it's on thenerdfu.com, so anybody hears me talk about it, that's where you can go enter. But last year, Steve and I, my business partner, we sat down and talked about all the things that we needed, and we got on Amazon and ordered it all up. And then this year we thought, hey, why don't we try to get some of this stuff to give to fans? So we reached out to a bunch of companies. I think we sent out probably 200 emails to different companies around the world, and we got back some really good responses. So we're giving away, this is one of the 2 backpacks we're giving away from Tilt. It's got a built-in battery. The retail price on this thing is $200. It is a very, very nice backpack. But we figured, why just give you the bag when we can give you some stuff to go in it, too? So our friends at Seagate gave us 2 portable 2-terabyte drives. These don't have an external power source at all. You can throw them in your bag, use them to stream to your iPad or backup photos or whatever. Olo Clip gave us one of these iPhone lenses that you can put on the outside of your phone to get like a cool fisheye effect or zoom in. We've also got an entire pack, a power pack coming from our friends at Chill, CHIL. One's a really cool device that you can plug in your hotel room that gives you 4 USB ports to charge all your different devices. And then a couple other devices to charge your iPad and your iPhone. So when you're in your hotel room, you will not be out of outlets. And then we actually went and I hit up the store and got all the things that I could think that we needed in a backpack, like a water filter bottle, Sharpie pens, sunscreen in case we end up having to see Doctor Who over at Petco Park, and then like 25 other things that I just walked around and said, hey, here's all the stuff that I would pack in my bag, so let's put it all in here. So total retail value on each of the 2 bags is close to $500 when all is said.
Nice.
And, it's a shame we can't keep it. I'd love to keep all that stuff, but this is for fans. So with those partners, again, Tilt, Seagate, Olo Clip, and Chill, we're giving those away, and we've got entries for the next 2 weeks so that we can pick a winner and get it shipped in time for somebody to use it at San Diego Comic-Con.
Brilliant. Where can they find the link for that? That is on the nerdfu.com?
TheNerdFu.com. It's going to be right there on the front page. You won't miss it. And of course, we're publishing regularly on Facebook and Twitter to remind everybody. You can go in and you follow the different companies to get your entries. You can tweet daily to earn more entries, and then we're going to give out some secret code words on our podcast and on our weekly newsletter to give people even more chances to win.
It is a brilliant giveaway, and if anything, I've been pointing people to that giveaway just to kind of go, okay, what are you needing in your backpack? This is what you're needing in your backpack. It's almost kind of like a nice little shopping list for people to kind of have to choose what they need to take with them to con. I think it's an essential collection. I think it's brilliant. So yeah, do check that out. I'm certain that many of our viewers right now have been searching for the SDCC hashtag. They've seen it because it's been retweeted left, right, and center about this giveaway. Do check out the nerdfu.com for that giveaway. Thank you very much indeed for that, Chris. Right. I think that's pretty much all we've got. I mean, with 2 hours, I think that's a pretty good show for us today. I'd like to thank our guests once again. Let's go down the line. Alyssa, thank you very much indeed for your time. I know 2 hours is a long time to take out of a Sunday, so thank you very much indeed. Chris, sorry. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, Alyssa.
Two quick things. It's never too late to start walking, and Wi-Fi extenders for poor hotel room Wi-Fi.
Mark.
I'm going to be looking. I'm looking for a MiFi. I'm looking for a portable MiFi out in the when I get to San Diego. I've got a week to look for one. So yeah, absolutely. Where can people find you, Alyssa, and also tell us about the forum, please?
Friends of CCI /forum and hashtag at Friends of CCI on Twitter.
Brilliant. Okay. Chris, tell us about yourself and where people can find you.
Of course, I'm thenerdfu.com. Me and my business partner Steve run it all. We do all the reporting, all the tweeting and Facebook. Just try to share the coolest nerd stuff we can find out there with everybody else to enjoy it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed for your time, Chris. Jennifer, thank you very much indeed. Like I say, I thought we were going to only have you for half an hour before your head hit the keyboard and kind of everything collapses. But thank you very much indeed for your time. Once again, just quickly run through where people can find out about ZombieWalk.
Facebook.com/SDZombieWalk, SDZombieWalk on Twitter, or SDCCZombieWalk.com. Go straight to our event page, and you can check out all that stuff to get to our Indiegogo campaign, which ends tomorrow. And that is your source for T-shirts, posters, packages. You can even lead the zombie walk. So come check us out.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Jennifer. We say thank you very much indeed. After many technical hiccups, we managed to get John from NerdLink. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, John. Yes. Tell us about.
Me. It's a pleasure.
No, not at all. Tell us about where people can find you, John.
Twitter is probably the thing I use the most is Twitter at NerdLink or nerdlink.com.
Excellent. We have had the company of Tina from Red Dot Diva. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. We also have to say thank you very much indeed for Tina for managing to get us our very special guest for 2 weeks' time. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to say now, thank you very much indeed, because she's been the one that's managed to get our guest. I will be telling you more about that in a week's time because it is a big guest for our show on the not the 20th, the 15th. Absolutely.
13th.
Yeah,
13th.
absolutely. 13th. Sorry. Oh no, I'm looking at my calendar wrong. Where can people find you, Tina?
I'm usually on Twitter, so the handle is right at the bottom, Sizzling. And if you're interested in Singapore-based or Southeast Asian-based news, I'm usually sending out that. And the latest that just came in was the Guardians of the Galaxy premiere will be in Singapore on 12th July. Which we will have Sully Saldana and Dave Bautista and James Gunn. And then I heard from my friend who's living in LA that the premiere will be on the 21st of July on Monday. So if you're in LA, you might just want to drop at the El Capitan Theater. But I heard that she's always going for premieres, so she says that if you really want to be at the barricades, you have to be there as early as 11 a.m. or 12 noon, and then the guests will start walking on the red carpet about 7:30.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Busy time for you. Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed, Tina. And then last but not least, we've had Kimberly. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Kimberly.
You can.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, you can reach us at www.thenerdelement.com. We're on Twitter at thenerdelement. It's me and my co-founders Natasha and Lana. So we sign our initials for tweeting. So we're on there a lot. And then Facebook.com/thenerdelement. Most of the social media sites. So you can find us.
Brilliant. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much indeed to all of my guests today. Hopefully we'll be seeing their faces again over the next 3-4 weeks as we have only a handful of Sundays left to go between now and San Diego Comic-Con 2014. It's getting closer and closer. I know that the hashtag that has been doing the rounds is it July yet? That hashtag has 2 days left on it, so use it. Use it. Tweet it out. Is it July yet? 2 days left of it, and then I think Jesse's going to have to come up with a new hashtag for July. He's got 2 days to think of something. So, Jesse,
I would say, is it SDCC yet?
That's probably going to be the one. So, yes, sorry, Jesse, you've just been snuck in there, I'm afraid, but yeah, I think that's probably good. You can take. There you go. Thank you very much indeed for your company this afternoon. 2 hours of talking about con. Don't forget, back again next Sunday. By all means, do let us know what you would like to talk about next Sunday in the comments below of this video. And also, you can tweet me as well at Englishman SDCC if there's anything you want to talk about. And also, if there's any guests that you'd like us to join next week. As we have Ryan Penagros from Marvel joining us. Agent M on the Twitter. So we're going to be talking about Marvel's relationship with Comic-Con and all things Marvel when it comes to the exhibition floor and the panels. He's going to be a great guest, and I really can't wait to talk to him. So that's next Sunday. We'll hope to see you then. Do join us. and we hopefully will have a whole host of guests joining us next week as well. Do take care, enjoy your week, and is it July yet? Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.